was trying to find a good spot to stop the music. It's not easy to find a good spot to stop the music. So, greetings from the library cave. I am Aspen Dracaena, your friendly neighborhood Ice Dragon Bookwyrm VTuber. And I have interesting news today. Very interesting news today. Here, let me do something real quick. So, my roommate left on Thanksgiving. It's been very interesting. On the one hand, I'm relieved because that means less household expenses. You know, my mom and I might be able to afford to handle stuff now. But it's also sad. You know, the whole reason my friend was here, my roommate was here, was because she had been going through a very seriously difficult time. And Human Mother is calling. Just a sec. Sorry about that. I swear, Human Mother's timing is always interesting. Anyway, so yeah. The whole reason why she was here was because she needed help and support. And the thing is, people have to want to help themselves before anybody can help them. Hi, hello, how you doing today, Insectivoid? So, you know, it doesn't matter how much you want to help somebody. Right. It doesn't matter how much you want to help somebody. If they are not willing to also help themselves, you can't help them. They have to be ready to help themselves. And, you know, I was going through the room she was staying in, which is actually my library that I want to be streaming out of. And I'll be moving stuff around, so next time I'll actually be in the library part of the library cave. But I was looking at the mess she left behind, because it was a big mess. And you know how sometimes people will say your environment reflects your mind? I was looking at the environment she created in that room for herself, and I just felt so sad. You know, this is someone who's hurting and struggling, and, you know, I wanted to help her, and I don't think she was ready to accept the kind of help I was offering her. So, you know, I wish her the best. I hope she'll grow and find something good in life for herself. Yeah. And, you know, I hope she'll be safe. I'll still care about her. I'm afraid the friendship part of things is over, but I'm still going to care. Because I don't know how to not care about people. It's hard for me not to do that, but, you know, I'm hoping she'll be okay. I told her to contact me when she gets where she's going, just to let me know she's okay. She left behind some stuff, so if she needs it, you know, I'll get it to her whenever. We'll see what happens. But, yeah. So it's kind of an end of something. I feel a little less stressed out because I can focus more on taking care of myself instead of trying to take care of everybody else. So that's important. We have to take care of ourselves. Anyway, because I had the day off from work, I thought I'd start earlier. So I'm really excited because I'll have a little extra time. And so let's get going. I don't remember what I was doing last. I haven't touched... Oh, the server is currently congested. Of course it is. It's the day after a holiday in the US, and I'm in a North American data center server. So yeah. But yeah, I feel sad that, you know, this is a friendship that kind of no longer exists anymore. And, you know, again, we can only do so much to help people. They have to have the motivation to help themselves. Okay. Oh, wow. Everything feels busy. All right. Let's see. So we've got some recommended quests over here. Through the gate. Free. Okay. All right. No. You being early caught me at work. I'm in the final half hour. Oh, okay. Yeah, I won't do this too often. I just did this for today because, wait, where am I in here? Okay. I just did this today because of, I had actual time off, so I figured it would be worthwhile. And that way you might be able to get to bed a little bit earlier tonight, too. Alright, wait. Am I going the right way? Yes, I am. That way. Okay. Let's get some tasks done. So, how's everybody doing today? I know not everybody celebrates Thanksgiving, but I do hope everybody has had a lovely day yesterday, and everybody's looking forward to a really nice weekend, hopefully. There's not behind these convent doors for a worldly type like you, missus. We're the dutiful sisters of the Edelweiss, all pure and saintly like. Now bugger off. I'm just talking, jeez. Hang about! He knows who I am. I thought you was just some simple errand lass, but now I've had a proper look. You're Aspen, ain't ya? I'm glad you had a good day, Mac. Okay. Heh, I knew it. We all like to snilch all the rising talent, and from what I hear, you're head and shoulders above the rest. That's 'cause I'm awesome. If you can handle yourself half as well as they say, you might well be of use to us. Forget thou that sister of the Edelweiss bollocks. That's just a bit of fun to fob off the curious culls. We're a guild of rogues, lass, and it's mainly our marks as done the prayin'. Interesting. Me and mine work in the shadows of Limsa, taking a keen edge to the rocks, or to the rooks and cacklers, would have earned themselves a millin. We don't tout for members, but every now and again we might offer a promising young cove a place in the ranks. If you've an interest in joining us, tip us your daddles and we'll put a hilt in each one, just like the gods intended. So what do you say? Fancy learning a new trade? Ooh, do I want to join the Rogues Guild? I think this is where I'm getting to the point in the game where I have to choose something. Like choose an area of, like a job, I guess. Let me think about this. Not for you, I suit yourself. Me and my chaste sisters will pray for your immortal soul, and so on. Okay, Topaz teachings. Is it going to tell me? So you want to be a fisher. Do I want to be a rogue? That's required level 1. Maybe that's not a job necessarily. Topaz teachings is over. Alright. You know what? I'll just go for it. Sure. We already said that. Lots of stuff to talk about. We all talked about this. Let's just go for it. Let's just go rogue. Yes, sure. Good to see you're keen, but I should probably warn you on a few points before you dive in. Where most guilds take pride in turning their members into the best bloody candlestick makers they can be, we only care about getting the job done. And the job ain't pretty. You become one of us, and you'll soon be neck deep in scum and knife fights. So if you're looking to scamper across rooftops and bilk dandies of their blunt, you best take up with a different crew. Think on that and come back if you're still keen. Okay, I'll think about it. Alright, let's go this way. Let me see if there's another one that would be worthwhile. I'm going to check out Topaz teachings back at the other place. Glad I got to catch the start of their stream early because it's early, but sadly still got to go to... Yeah, I know. You're in a very different time zone. I know it's pretty late for you there. So, yeah. I'm sorry. That's the difficulty with streaming is, like, I want to, you know, I'll meet really interesting people from different areas of the world, and then I can't stream at times that they can watch, or they can't stream at times that I can watch. And so it feels very unfortunate. Itinerant Google? Okay. I'm a wandering. I'm gonna close that because I know where I'm going. La 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 la. Oh, you're okay. That's a little bit easier, Mac, if you're 1 hour behind me. Yeah, I think a lot about like the like bigger corpo streamers. Hey, Panda. I think a lot about the bigger corpo streamers, and you know they'll have these huge fan bases, and everybody will want them to stream in their time zone or at a time that works in their time zone, and it's like, you know, they kind of have to make a choice. You know what works best for them, and I think that's reasonable. You know. I think we all have to make that choice. Alright. Acting Guild Master Thubrigium, I hate that name, wishes to inform you of an important task. Cool. And I am level 28. Nice. You seem tired, Aspen. Really? Are you sleeping properly? No. One's reasoning can suffer without sufficient rest and recuperation. True. I know this. Should you deem yourself fit for duty, pray make your way down to the practice floor. Forestier Cleha has requested you accompany her on another official inspection. I actually really like Mary's streaming times because he's part of my morning routine now. Same with Lumi and Alfie. Yeah. I actually like, it's kind of nice when people stream at, I think it's kind of convenient for a lot of us on the East Coast of the U.S. because you'll get people streaming in Japan appropriate times, just switched around almost the exact opposite. So somebody's streaming at night in Japan, it's morning in U.S. Or in East Coast and vice versa. It works pretty well. So that's kind of nice. All right. Should you deem yourself fit for duty, pray make your way down to the practice floor. Forestier Kili has requested you accompany her on another official inspection. There is, however, a requirement for your participation. The Forestier will explain the situation. Okay. Kliha is over there. Clea is not very far away. I don't even need a map. I think she's downstairs, though. Okay. She's downstairs. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, yeah, it's easy to watch, like, Japanese VTubers in American time zones. Well, or rather in East Coast time zone. Wait, where is she? She's got to be somewhere. Oh, there she is, I think. Come on, where do I go? Yeah. Okay. Alright. I was beginning to think I'd miscalculated, Aspen. Thank you for coming. I will soon be boarding a trading vessel suspected of smuggling. Oh no. All merchant ships that make use of Limsa Lominsa's ports are subject to inspection by Milvan's gate assessors. It is a routine I perform daily. In the case of smugglers, however, there is a 75% probability of encountering resistance. Thus, I would appreciate your company during this assignment. Okay, gotta love the quests that tell you, go tell what's his name, blah, 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 and said character is almost beside the other one. Yeah, seriously. It is now that we must discuss the requirement of which you were informed. Though I have full confidence of your martial expertise, it is imperative that you first acquire the ability to summon Topaz Carbuncle. Such knowledge will be released to you contingent on your acceptance of this duty. Yes. Very good. She looked very happy. We made her smile. That's great. Cool. Nice. Very good. The arcane entity given form by the Topaz geometry will further expand your offensive capabilities. Cool, cool. With such an ally at your command, even the harshest of enemies will falter before you. Indeed, we could not conduct these dangerous spot inspections without its support. Please return to Mistress Bookwyrm and talk about that very issue and inform her of your participation. I will join you once I have completed some final adjustments to my tactical formulae. Okay, so go back upstairs because that's what we do. Watch, I'm gonna go back and forth like 20 times. La 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 la. Upstairs. There we go. You know, I'm glad I did the training arc because I love this outfit. It's very cool. There we go. You have agreed to accompany the Foreseer? Then I shall gladly instruct you in the use of Topaz Carbuncle. Pray, do not hesitate to employ this entity in combat should the inspection turn sour. Quest that was... Wait, that was the quest? That was easy? Okay. Okay. Easy quest, I guess? Should I learn how to be a fisherman? My first daggers. Easier than that is impossible. Yeah, pretty much. My first daggers, so you want to be a fisher and over the rails. Alright, let's go learn to fish. I think we should just go learn to fish. Let's go. It'll be a fishing sim. It'll be like fishing for fish in Animal Crossing. I feel like I should be walking around people even though I know I can just walk straight through them. It just feels rude to walk into them, you know? It just feels rude. Okay, so I have to get down there. Somewhere. Down there somewhere. So, is there a way down? Yes. There's a way down. That's very useful. Okay. So, I did absolutely zero shopping today. I don't really have the money to buy Christmas presents today anyway right now. So, you know, it is what it is. Wait, where do I go? There we go. I don't know. Like, at this... Wait, what? What? Okay, where am I fishing again? Where do I need to go? I need to go there. And I'm here. That is very useless. Okay, I'll go back up and try the other way. La da dum da dum. Hello. Hi, people. What are you doing? Company chest. Okay, interesting. Alright. Interesting. Alright, let's try going another way. Scooby McDooby, okay. I love the names people will choose for themselves sometimes in games. It's like, where'd you get that from? Oh my gosh, this guy's armor's really cool. I just kind of really like looking at other people's, like, just really cool outfits. And really interesting armor. That's cool. Okay. Alright. Okay, now can we do it? Oh, wait. Okay, no, this way. This way, around here. This way. This way. I remember people in Final Fantasy XIV had a visual for Kentaro Miura, the author of Berserk, when he passed. It was the most wonderful thing. Yeah. I think it's kind of... This is one of those games that really kind of feels like it welcomes a community. I mean, and it's so sweet that, like, people will get married in game and stuff. Like, I'm in a, my free company is run by a couple. I just think that's really sweet. Okay. No. No. Wait. Okay. Am I... Okay. Okay. Here we are. Finally, I made it! Yeah, contrast that with World of Warcraft when Filks had a funeral for a guild member and they got grief killed. Oh, that's so rude. That's just cruel. Like, you know, I'm kind of picky when it comes to MMORPGs. You know, any game where it's, you know... I don't want to play games where people are going to be complete jerks to each other, you know? And it does feel like this, like the Final Fantasy community is really welcoming. Well, a well-wishing be come to you, adventurer friend. You've worked your way to Fisherman's Bottom. When you want to fish for just a day, you can call a culinarian, but we fishermen feast for life. I've set the bait. Think you're ready to bite? Do I want to join the Fisherman's Guild? Okay, so this is a joining thing too. Do I want... So there's the Rogues Guild and the Fisherman's Guild. Next. Hang on a sec. Alright. Okay. No. I don't want to join the Fisherman's Guild. I'm a terrible fisher person. And there's Over the Rails, which is there. And then My First Daggers, which is over there. Okay, you know what? Let's go to the main story quest. I was going to focus on main story quest while playing anyway. So we should go to main story quest, which is somewhere up there. I always feel like it takes me a little time with games like these to just kind of reorient myself because, you know, I actually haven't been playing this all week, so my brain has to readjust. Okay, so where is... Okay, Lower Decks, the Drowning Wench, Adventurers Guild. Okay. Imagine what it'd be like to live in a world where these like huge moving towering crystals around you, you know? It's kind of wild. I think that'd be really interesting. Okay. Drowning Wench, please. Thank you very much, please. Okay. Better on what next? Information on a new task. Okay. Ready to hear about that job then? Like I said, the request comes from our sister guild in Gridania. And that's all I know. But whatever it is you get asked to do... Oh, sorry about that. I somehow doubt it'd pose any trouble for a venturer who survived the bedlam in Satasha. Satasha. That's easy to say. At least some of these names are easy to say. If you think you might be interested, you want to have words with Mother Mion, me counterpart in Gridania. Good luck, lass. I know this is supposed to be an arrow down here at the bottom, but it looks like an ice cream cone to me. Alright, speak with Mion at the Carline Canopy in Gridania. Alrighty. So we're going there. Woohoo! Okay, we've got a task. The smith no longer has a thing over his head. He's just staring now. Great. Airship landing. Do I take an airship? Goodness, little cat, you don't have to be so noisy. Now, yes, there we go. You know, I love hearing stories about like groups of people who connect in a game and then they become really close and they, you know, some sometimes they don't even know each other's real life names, but it's like there's this bond people get. I guess that's really kind of what goes on with a lot of VTubing too, because I've made a lot of really good friends, and some like not as close friends, but uh, it it's kind of nice to be able to connect through something like this. I'm gonna be real. The way how she just walked off the airship, I actually kind of walk like that. Okay, let's see. So, Call of the Forest should be nearby. Where are you? I don't think she's in this building. She's probably on one of the other levels. Let's see. Ah, here we go. Oh, she's pretty. Take a seat wherever you like, friend. Our waitress will come take your... Oh, not here to dine? Dare I hope you're the adventurer Baderon sent word about? You are? The matron be praised. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Mion, and the Carline Canopy is my place. Okay. With regard to the task in question, there is a fair bit to tell. Let me know when you're ready to hear the details, and I shall brief you. You can brief me now. Complete. Okay. Brief me. Ready for that briefing? Good. Now then, here's the long and short of it. Beg pardons for interrupting Mion, but our need grows ever more pressing. Have none stepped forward? And good evening to you, Bow Lord. Your need must be pressing indeed for you to honor us with a visit. The good news is your journey hasn't been wasted. I'm pleased to report that we have a volunteer at last, and one who comes highly recommended at that. Ooh, he's snazzy. My thanks for answering the call, friend. My name is Lewin, and I lead the men and women of the God's Quiver. Now, time is of the essence, so I shall proceed directly to the heart of the matter. We wish for you to nip a potential threat to Gridania in the bud. Beneath the central shroud, there lies an underground burial site called the Tamtara Deepcroft. The place was once a Gelmoran settlement, but we Gridanians have long interred our dead there. Of late, however, shadowy figures have been seen skulking around the Deepcroft, and with ever-increasing regularity. Based on the accounts of various witnesses, we suspect that these individuals belong to the Lambs of Dalmud, a doomsday cult which sprung up prior to the calamity. These zealots have proven themselves dangerous in the past, and we leave them to their own devices at our peril. Ordinarily, I would have dispatched my men to scour the Deepcroft with orders to flush the cultists out. Alas, the calamity decimated our ranks, and the limited forces at my disposal are constantly required to keep the Ixal at bay. The birdmen have grown restless of late, and I fear a storm may be brewing. In anticipation of this, I have been compelled to spread our forces throughout the Twelves Wood, lest we be taken unawares. The situation so being, we must turn to others to deal with the Lambs of Dalmud. Can we rely on you to undertake this task, friend? Sure. You have my gratitude. Once you've seen to your preparations, pray make your way to the Deepcroft and identify yourself to the guard posted at the entrance. He will appraise you of the latest developments. And that is all. Be careful out there, you hear? May the crystal guide you and keep you. Cool, cool. We've got a job. Let's do our job. Okay. So that is somewhere over there. And we are somewhere not over there. Where are we? Okay. I guess we'll go out. Wait. Okay. I should be heading south, I think. And we're heading south. Alright. Da, 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 da. Okay. Wait, hang on a moment. Alright, there we go. I think. Alright, oh good. Now... it's time to make like Bilbo Baggins. Alright, wait, let's go this way? That way. A bog Yarzon. Interesting. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have jumped in. Ah. I should probably be following the actual roads. Okay, so there is a road around that way. La-da-dum-da-dum. Okay. Let's try going around. Find a path. This seems like a path of sorts. Okay. Oh, I am so far away. But I'm starting to show up on the... Great, great. Okay. I am just going to keep following this road. That seems like an awesome choice. Okay, so I want to go this way. I think it'd be so funny if people just randomly were like, you know, walking around the street handing out kittens and they're like, It's not safe to go alone. Take this with you. And they just hand you a kitten. I think that would be hilarious. Especially a flying kitten. Wait. Magicked bones. Oh. Okay. That took me a moment to process what I was looking at there. You're Aspen Dracaena, I take it. Thanks for helping us out, friend. No doubt the Bow Lord has already informed you, but your task is to enter the Deep Croft and purge it of the Lambs of Dalmud. In case you're unfamiliar with them, the cult emerged shortly before the Calamity put an end to the 6th Astral Era. The cultists took the Lesser Moon, Dalmud, for their god, believing that it would deliver them from the devastation. And so they were rather disappointed when Dalmud exploded into 1,000 flaming pieces before it could complete its descent. Now, having seen their god turn to ash, one would think that the cultists might feel moved to question their faith. On the contrary, it served only to stoke the flames of their fanaticism. The Lambs of Dalmud are convinced that heretics, that is to say, everyone but them, interfered with the coming of their Lord and Savior, and that it's now their sacred duty to avenge them, or avenge him. Whatever it is they're doing to the Deep Croft, you may be sure that no good will come of it. For the sake of Gridania and Erzea at large, put an end to their madness. Okay. A new regular duty has been added to the duty finder. Alright. Okay. So we've got a task. Is this... So I'm guessing this is a dungeon. A dungeon-esque situation of sorts. Okay. Just doing something real quick. Alright. I shall go. It's so glowy. Entrance. Come on. Let me click. There we go. Entrance. Sure. Unless anybody does, if anybody wants to join me, they can. I'm always happy to have people join, but if not, if there's not a lot of people right now, let's just go. Okay. Alright, the Duty Finder allows you to challenge dungeons and other duties with a party of other players. You may access it via duty in the main entrance or by choosing the appropriate option at the entrance of duty. Enter dungeons and other duties via the Duty Finder by choosing your desired duty, then selecting Join. You will then be automatically matched with compatible players destined for the same duty. You may register for up to 5 duties at one time. Duties marked by a lock symbol require certain conditions. Okay, duty status. When you register for a duty, it will appear along with an icon in your duty list. You may check duty status, including matching progress and approximate waiting times by selecting this entry. Once you have been successfully matched with other players, a prompt window indicated by a notification sound will appear. Begin duty by selecting Commence. Please note that if you do not commence duty within the time limit, your registration will be automatically withdrawn, and you must start the process over. But next, over the course of your adventures, the number of duties available to you will gradually increase. Many duties will be cleared via both the Duty Finder and Duty Support systems, so it's worth familiarizing yourself with both. You may also re-challenge previously cleared dungeons by accessing Duty Finder or Duty Support via duty in the main menu. Okay. Alright, Tamtara Deepcroft. And I'm, in case you don't realize what I am doing right now, I am stalling because I know there's an ad coming up soon and I do not want to start right before the ad starts. So I'm just trying to take this moment to read through things. All right, duty roulette. When using the duty roulette, you will be assigned to random duty from among those you have unlocked. In return for leaving your destination in the hands of fate, you will receive enhanced rewards. Furthermore, should you happen to be an adventurer in need, that is to say your role is in short supply, you will receive an additional bonus. Okay. So, time limit 90 minutes. Requirements: 1 to 4 players, 1 tank, 1 healer, 2 DPs, or 2 DPS. Class: Disciples of War or Magic. Limited jobs can participate in a preformed party meeting. Okay. Role and item level restrictions are lifted for parties meeting minimum size requirements. Alright. Since its establishment during Gelmoran times, this subterranean crypt has been used for generations as a final resting place for the remains of rulers and nobles. Since the calamity, however, the tunnels have become overrun with the Lambs of Dalmud, a deadly cult who worships the now fallen satellite as their savior. Interesting. It is in the Deep Croft that these twisted souls silently plot revenge against those who fought to prevent the advent of Dalmud, summoning any dark presence who will aid them to this end, no matter what the cost. Let's look at the Satasha one for a second. This is the one we did before. And this is the one we're doing now. Other parties recruiting is 17. Okay. Dungeons. All right. Okay, what I'm going to do... See, I kind of don't want to start a new task first, but I think what I'll do is start a new task. So I will come back here. Because I don't want to do... I don't want to start something I can't finish. There's somebody over around here with a task. So let's find that person with the task. We'll do that first. Yeah, I just don't want to start a dungeon and not, you know, not let you see what's going on. Finea has worked for a meddlesome adventurer. Wow, she seems grateful. Another God's-damned adventurer desperate to stick her nose in everybody's business, isn't it? Then seek out the groundskeeper of the Tamtamar Deepcroft. You'll find him in a shack just outside the entrance, as the hermit is all too happy to live close to his work. When last I patrolled the area, I could hear him swearing inside his shack from the road. I don't know what vexes the man, but I suspect he'll welcome your presence more than I. Alright. Well, that brings us in the same general area. Lothair. Oh, it's this place. Balar. After a bit of work, are ya? I have a task that needs doing. Take these Nemea lilies and leave them at the top of each barrow. You've doubtless seen the bones return to life by foul magics, shambling around and harassing their surviving comrades. It hurts me soul to see it, adventurer. I cannae abide such blasphemy. 'Tis me hope that these lilies soothe their spirits and help them return to the matron's bosom. Tell me when you've finished. Okay. They're around that way. Alright, so we've got the ad starting in 30 minutes. Ooh. Okay. There we go. There's one. Wait, why is it not? Da, 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 da. Use, there we go. Okay. Whee. What is making said noise? And the other one is that way. Right? Oh, there's gonna be something there. There's gonna be something there. There's gonna be an attack of sorts. An eerie light catches my eye. Okay, I can't do it yet. Wait. Where? Oh, okay. There we go. It's so tiny. Where's the other one? It makes such sad little sounds. Okay. Use. Alright, and the ad's gonna start in just a moment. So, I can go that way. Wait, where is he? Oh, there. You've done holy work this morning, lass. I cannot fathom what could drive the dead to rise up and seek to do us harm, but I pray that this help puts an end to it. May the matron watch over and keep you safe. Yay! Oh, I get to choose. I don't need hard leather sandals, though. I'm gonna take the bronze. Sells for 100 gil. Sells for... yeah. Okay. So. Ad break. Here we go. All right. Sorry. I forgot to turn on the microphone again. Okay. So let's do the dungeon. Let's see if we can finish it in less than 90 minutes. Oh, look, there's a smith. Oh, this one is a handsome smith too. Goodness, why are all the smiths so handsome? Oh, okay. Awesome. Yay. I'll just wait then. Sorry I had to go away for a while, drove home and grabbed something to eat. No, understandable. Like, you guys, seriously? I'm pretty chill about this. If you need to take care of yourself, go for it. I'm like 100% go for it. You know, I want everybody in chat. Like, I am not the full priority here, you know. You should be taking care of yourself. So I will never fault you for taking a moment to grab some food, you know, drive home from work, like that's what you're supposed to do. I'll just hang out and wait. So, while I didn't technically have work today, I actually did go to work because somebody needed to be there to open the doors for the, there's some repair guys coming in to work on the heating and cooling system at work. So I was there from about 8 o'clock to around 2 this afternoon. So 8, 10. Gosh, I was there for 6 hours. It's actually kind of long. I didn't realize how long I was there. But, you know, it's sometimes really weird to be at work when there aren't patients around because everything just moves so quickly. So I mostly just hung out and chatted with people on Discord and played games on my tablet. And tidied up my laptop, which I needed to fix up. Oh, there we go. Hi! Yay! Okay. Alright, wait. Blah, 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 okay. Yes, there we go. Wait, let me wave hi. Because I'm supposed to. I love the way how it looks like I'm just, like, waving in people's faces. Alright. Okay, so we need... Alright, so I guess we could just go. Entrance. Join. Oh, no duty's been selected? Wait, oh. Duty. Join. Duty registration complete. Okay. Alright.
You like jazz?
You like jazz? I love that one. Alright. So Stet, from here, do we just need to wait until we get another couple of people? And you can tell me, you can just go ahead and respond in chat if you want.
You like jazz?
You guys are going to play that a lot, aren't you? Okay, cool. So what are, yeah, there you go. So what are, I had a question. I was thinking about things. Yes, so I know some people get married in Final Fantasy. And, you know, the game has their own special events. But I'm really curious about other things people do in the game. Like, you know, if they do birthday parties or, you know, I know sometimes people will do memorial services or things like that in games like this. But I'm just curious what kind of things people have come up with that weren't necessarily game events, that were things that they just did for themselves as a way to kind of use the world to come together. Or the in-game world, rather. There's a lot of venues. So it could actually be fun to do like a birthday party. And, you know, I think one thing that's interesting, too, when people do events is how they choose to in a way, people in games like this will sometimes police each other. Not to say, like, police, like, oh my gosh, bad, you're under arrest. But rather, more like, you know, when you have the right community in a game, people will look out for each other because they don't want the game to be unpleasant. At least that's what it seems like to me. Yeah, it's hard enough to get new people to play. Yeah. And I will say that I've been avoiding playing games like this just because of the negative stories I hear, and it's, you know, the reason I chose this game specifically is because I know a lot of people who play it. And exactly, Final Fantasy XIV doesn't seem to have the same kind of antagonistic community that World of Warcraft seems to have, or, you know, some other games as well. I hear all kinds of bad stories about people having experiences in other games that are just not nice, you know? And, like, sure, given there are always going to be people in games who are playing it to get their anger out. Fine. But you don't have to be a jerk about it. Okay. Gosh, now I'm wondering if Tibia has a lot of griefers in PvE servers. Okay. Alright, so it says time elapsed 5 minutes, average wait time 5 minutes, so... Gosh, maybe I should have been a healer. Or a tank. But yeah, I think, you know, it's one of those... if you want to, it's fine. Whatever one you want to do, Stat, I'm completely okay with whatever choice you make. Okay, Mac thinks you should be a tank, so there we go. Is there like a breakdown of how many people choose to take different types of jobs in the game? Oh, just withdraws. Okay. All right, I will do that. Let's see. Oh, blah, blah, blah. No. Stop. No. No. Stop. Nothing. Okay. Nothing? Wait. Oh, duty finder there. Wait, no. Stop it. Stop. How do I get out of it? You can put any job you want on one character. True, that is helpful. Okay, how do I blah, 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 blah. Oh, okay, party. Disband? Okay. Alright. Okay. Yes. Alright. There we go. Okay. All right. Let's just go. Because we don't need 4 people. We only need 2, right? Light party. Oh, okay. Nice. Okay. Oh my gosh, why are they running off? There we go. Ah! It's too busy. Okay, wait. Okay. It's too busy. It's hard to keep track of things. Ah! Ah! There we go. Sometimes there's a little too much going on the screen. Yeah. Ah. There we go. Oh yeah. Yes, zooming out. I always forget to do that. There we go. Nice. Okay. Yep. Why did I do that? Oh, I'm always spanning. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Okay. Nice. I'm getting the hang of this. Almost there. Nice. Okay. Yay. These guys are weird. Spiders! They are friend-shaped. of a sort. If you like friends shaped that way. I kind of like the big scorpion guys. They look like they're furry. Like you could pet them or ride them or something. Okay. Ah! Okay. There we go. No. How are you doing, by the way, Kiva? I hope you're doing well. Why do they run? They should stay still and stop being cowards. What? Oh. Okay. Ah! Alright, there we go. You know, I worry sometimes when I'm playing games and I get to moments when I'm concentrating. Like, I worry that I just stop talking. And I know I'm like, oh my gosh, I should be talking to you guys. But sometimes things require a little effort. Deep in the bowels of Minas Tirith. Ooh, he's a squid. And this is looking very, interesting. Come hither, children. Galvanath the Dominator. Okay. Alright. Well, it looks like I'm getting him from behind, so he's not.
Okay.
Alright. This feels very Cthulhu-esque. Almost there. Yes! Nice. Bye, Mr. Squid. Yay! Woohoo! Yes! Okay, we're at what level? You can now accept the next... Okay. Treasure coffer. Acolyte's robe. Pass. Okay. Exit. Always need if you can need. Oh, okay. Meh, meh, meh. Okay. Oh, it can't. It doesn't give me the option. Need, greet, or pass. Here, I'll just do that. Okay. Whatever. Exit. Yes. Okay. Yay! Thank you. Okay. So that was done. And then report to Mion. Thank you, Stat. That was awesome. Basically means that it's for the class or job that you're playing. Okay. And what does greed mean? Just that you want it, just because? Okay. Oh, here. Let's see. Emotes. Dance. Woohoo! Uh-oh. There we go. There. And then the step dance. Greed means that you want it, but if anyone rolls need on it, it rules over any greed rolls. Okay. I got it. I love this one. It reminds me of Irish step dancing. Okay. Alright. I am going to go report to whoever I need to report to. Okay. The bee's knees dance. Haha. Okay. I'm going to... Wait. I have to go to Mune. Okay. Alright. So I disband the party. There. Disband, yes. Okay. The party has been dissolved. Alright. Thank you so much. I'm gonna go back and report to Mion. Or Mune. Woohoo. Alright, is this the way I go? I think it is. There is so much in this game to learn. Did I go this way? And of course, lurk. Okay. Fate sink? Sure. And go after the dire mites. Alright. I think they're a little too happy. Or otherwise. Every weapon is a hunter weapon. Oh my gosh, they just keep appearing. Alright. Cool, I guess. Okay. Oh. Oops. Did not mean to do that. Okay. Oh. Excuse you. Of course, they come right behind me, and I'm like, go away. Leave me alone! How many of you do I have to kill? Is it not over yet? Oh. Okay, nice. Can I go back to where I was heading? Am I permissed? Do I have permission to go? Okay, there is no way the bottoms of my shoes look that nice. At this point, the bottoms of my shoes should be so dirty. Okay, so hang on a second. Immune is up in the... yeah. Okay, so I just need to wander around a bit. Alrighty. So I just need to... oh, wait. Why is it telling me... oh, no. Okay. Alright, so I should be heading north. North of here is where I shall be. So yeah, yesterday was an interesting day. Human mother and I dropped off roommate at the airport because her Uber didn't come through, which kind of didn't surprise me because it's a holiday. And it snowed and it stuck to the ground yesterday. And that's always kind of exciting because that is not always what happens at the beginning of winter around here. Sometimes you'll have a few snows before the weather actually changes enough to let you, or to make the snow stick to the ground. So that's kind of exciting today and yesterday too. I saw the dogs. Oh, yes, yes. So I was talking about the farm last stream. And I actually went to the farm and I got to see the dogs. And they were so sweet. They were just adorable. So Tano is always really happy to see me. Like, she gets so excited. She'll like just come straight over and she'll start sniffling at my face and she'll want me to give her hugs and scritches behind the ear. I always tell her she's a good girl, so she's always happy to hear those words. Welcome back, Aspen. I'm reliably informed that your foray into the Deepcroft was a success. Nor did I expect anything less. Bateron's ringing endorsement left me in little doubt as to your capabilities. Even so, you are to be commended. Beau Lord Llewellyn asked me to pass on his thanks. I must say it's something of a relief to be able to call upon such a capable adventurer. Sadly, death has become an ever more common occurrence within our fraternity of late. Times being what they are, the guild is constantly inundated with petitions, and we are hard-pressed to find enough hands to deal with them all. While this means no shortage of work for able souls such as yourself, it also provides ample opportunity for the inexperienced to overreach themselves, with predictable consequences. As if to illustrate the point. Haver's gone. It's your fault. If it hadn't taken you an age to heal him, he would still be alive. But I tried. He bolted out of range before I could finish the spell. He shouldn't have been so hard-pressed in the first place. He should have done more to lighten his burden. Bah! To the hells with this pathetic excuse for a party. I'm leaving, and it'd be too soon if I never see your faces again. Goodbye and good riddance. I'm leaving as well. I doubt this comes as any surprise, but I never liked you. Gosh, these people are so sassy. I only suffered you for your healing, but you couldn't even do that one thing right. Cruel though this may sound, you brought this upon yourself. Oh, and by way of some parting advice, get rid of Avir's head. Bury it, cremate it, do whatever the hells you like with it, but for God's sake, stop carrying it around. It's just get rid of it, alright? Okay, interesting. Alright. Oh, no, I didn't mean to do that. Okay. Well, wait, don't leave me alone. Please. I'm so sorry, Avir. Please forgive me. Scenes like this have become all too common. That makes a dozen times in half as many days. Now you see why I'm grateful for adventures of your experience. I can send women like you on a mission without worrying that you might not return. Well, not so much at any rate. Speaking of missions, I would entrust you with another. About a bell ago, I received a message from my counterpart in Ul'dah. She seeks the services of a reliable adventurer, and you are nothing if not reliable. If you think you might be interested in this task, say the word, and I will be glad to share the details with you. Yay! Okay. Nice. Accept. Alright. So, you're not averse to taking a little trip? Wonderful. As I mentioned earlier... Ooh, I'm level 30. Nice. As I mentioned earlier, the request comes to us from the Adventurers Guild in Ul'dah. Once you arrive, seek out Momodi, the proprietress, that's a hard word to say, of the Quicksand. Think of her as the Sultanate's version of myself. Chances are she'll send you into the midst of danger, but I have every confidence that you'll pull through unscathed. Now off you go, Aspen, and good luck. All right. So that is Call of the Desert. So I need to go to... All right. I am traveling once more. Okay. Downstairs we go. Airship tickets. Yes. Oh my gosh, he's letting me go. That is so cool looking. And the steps of Nug. Okay. Alright, so I need to find the quicksand. Okay. Alright, and this is the place that's a little confusing to get around, if I recall correctly. Okay. Hustings strip? Yes. Let's try that. I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm in the wrong place. That's a really cool chandelier, though. Alright, this is the area that I'm gonna need to learn how to figure out. Right. Sips of fall, sips of fall, sips of fall. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Or maybe not. Can I get... Alright, so which ones have I... Okay, Ethernet shard. I don't think I've been there yet, so... Okay. So, am I... Where do I go? Where do I go? Maybe I should have done the other one. Okay. Lala Maya, please help. Please be of assistance, dear. Ruby Road Exchange? Can I jump? Oh, maybe I should have. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, wait, I'm in the right place, I think. There we go. Yeah, I'm in the right place now. Okay. Oh, the quicksand. There we go. There we go. Momody. Why, greetings, Momody. I don't know why I'm standing on a thing. Welcome to the quicksand, friend. I'm a tad busy right now. If you wouldn't mind showing yourself to Judging by your determined expression, I take it you ain't here for ale. Are you called Aspen Dracaena by any chance? Mioun sent word that you'd be reporting for duty. She also made a point of calling you the adventurer of the moment. That ain't no small praise coming from her. But you didn't come all the way here to listen to my prattle. Doubtless you're eager to get started, so let's talk business, shall we? All right, let's talk. Well, let's do some business. Now that I am standing on a stool. Here, let me get off this stool. I'm going to be polite. Momody is waiting to brief you on your task. The petitioner ought to be arriving any moment now. God's almighty, another second under the sun, and I would have been set afire. A tankard of ale, if you'd be so kind. Oh, excellent timing, Papashan. It just so happens the adventurer who'll be handling your petition is here. So this winsome lass is the much-lauded adventurer, is she? Marvelous. Marvelous. Marvelous, darling. A pleasure to make your acquaintance, milady. I am Papashan, formerly of the Sultan Sworn. I thank you for agreeing to lend us your aid. Mayhap you'd like to appraise Aspen of her mission? Or a prize. Not appraise, a prize. Yes, of course. The petition in question was submitted by an acquaintance of mine at Amagina and Sons Mineral Concern. Marvelous, exactly. Marvelous, darling, marvelous. It relates to an unfortunate development at Copperbell Mines. To be plain, giants have seized control of the place. These giants are the clan known as the Hecatoncheires, fearsome creatures who were sealed within the deepest depths of the mines during the bygone Thorn dynasty. Alas, it seems they have managed to break through the layer of rock which served to imprison them, and now prowl the tunnels where the miners ply their trade. The creatures are justifiably angry about their treatment at the hands of our ancestors, and their presence has forced the suspension of all mining activities on the site. It's no wonder they're angry. Oh my gosh, I don't know why I'm yawning right now. Didn't the Thorn dynasty come to an end over 300 years ago? You know your history well, milady. The people of that age used the Hecatoncheires to work their mines. By way of enchanted helms, they were able to bind the ferocious creatures to their will, but as is oft the way in such tales, these enchantments eventually failed, and the slaves rose up against their masters. In a desperate bid to contain the unbridled fury of the Hecatoncheires, our ancestors induced the collapse of the mine's lowermost levels. So it was that the great giant revolt was ended, buried beneath 100,000 tons of rock. Or tonses of rock. Oh, well now, that's got me thinking. I seem to recall there being an article about Copperbell in the Mithril Eye a fortnight or so ago. It said the mines were being reopened so as to meet the rise in demand for building materials. Like as not, our boys dug a bit too deep and freed the giants. Gods, to think that the poor creatures are still alive and kicking after 3 centuries. That's a long time to nurse a grudge. They must be seething. Indeed. That was a very, very, very dramatic movement. And that makes them a danger to us all. There will be no mining at Copperbell so long as they remain. For the sake of both peace and prosperity, they must be subdued. This is the task which we would have you undertake. I'll not deny that the mission will be rife with danger, but our need is great, and so I beg you, put an end to this sorry business. Okay. Gods bless you. I feared you might have reservations, but I assure you it is for the best. In case you don't know, Copper Bell Mines are in western Fanaland. Do take care, you hear? Why is she so adorable? Like, she's so tiny behind that countertop. It's actually just, I don't know. Anyway. And one last thing before you depart. An employee of Amangina and Sons is present at the quicksand. The fellow's name is Painted Mesa, and he knows Copper Bell Mines well. It may behoove you to seek his counsel. Okay. Alright. Huh. Let's see. So wait. Who am I looking for? Oh, he's right there. Looking for Painted Mesa? You found him. So you're the adventurer who's volunteered to deal with the mess down in Copperbell, are you? Yes. Yes, I am. You've got guts, miss. I hope you've got skills to go with him, 'cause things ain't pretty down there. The Hecatonciers have left their place in a right state and nary a week after mining resumed. I don't know if you know this, but Copperbell was old when the second old dynasty was still young, and it was abandoned centuries ago. If it hadn't been for the shortage of materials needed for the rebuilding effort, the concern would never have thought to reopen it. We knew full well about the giants beforehand, but the project went ahead anyway. I mean, nothing could possibly survive being buried under a mountain's worth of rock for 3 centuries, right? Wrong. Our miners dug up more than they bargained for. One swing of the pickaxe too many, and they found themselves in the company of giants. Unless we can subdue 'em, the nation's glorious recovery will grind to a halt for want of aught to build with. The stone's torches are keeping watch over the entrance in case the giants fancy some sunlight and fresh air. One of them will be able to show you the way in. The hope of the nation's resting on you, friend. Best of luck. Okay. Copperbell Mines. Okay. I'm over there, and they're over there. Okay. I don't want to go that way. I want to find the crystal. So I can touch the crystal. Can I touch the crystal? I want it. It's mine. Okay. Oh, did I just walk into a fountain? There we go. The Ethernet shard. Yay! Okay. So I need to go over that way. So let's see. Bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, bum, ba, dum. The music in this part is nice. This is like good, like, nighttime, sleepy time music. Which is probably not good if I'm already yawning. Is there another? That's a lot of walking, yeah. Is there another Aetherstone? Big Etherstone, yes. I don't think I've touched this one yet. Alrighty, alrighty. Was that a... oh, that was a little thing. Okay. I actually really like this area. It's very pretty. Hi, Gaspin. Gate of the Sultana. All right, and ads starting in about 3 minutes. So let's just walk around for a bit. Little ladybug. A star marmot? What does a star marmot look like? Oh, they're kind of cute. Interesting. Is that a gigantic turtle? It is. Oh my gosh, look at the tortoise. How cool is that? Oh, that's enormous. Very cool. Okay. Nope, nope. I can't, you know, I can't do the whole squirrel thing. Because we have a task to do. I have a job. I have one bloody job to bloody do. Do I want to go in here? The Scorpion Crossing. Lots of stuff in the way. Okay. All right. Oh, am I gonna get pulled into a fate? No, thank you. I'm just trying to get by. No, I'm not trying to join. Yeah, this is a lot of walking right now. Oh my gosh, look at that guy. It's a little friend. A very little friend. Not big at all. Alright, so the ad's gonna start pretty soon. Pretty soon. Oh, what is that? It's friend-shaped. They're all friend shapes. Alright. The ad is going to start any second now, so hang on. Da, 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 da. There we go. Okay. So here, I'm going to do the loading screen because it's going to start any second now. Oh. Let me turn off the music. There we go. All right. Take a break. That was on purpose. Ah, dropping things. Okay. All right, there's about a minute left. Should I run in circles? Or no? Yes, no. Yes, no. A wind-up Aerith. Interesting. Anything else to see? Baby my. Glide bomb. Okay. There are so many interesting creatures in this game. Can I go up ladders? Can I go up there? No. Okay. Just curious. All right. Okay. A break is up. We'll talk to Stone Torch. All right. There has been an incident inside Copper Bell Mines. We know that. We are here to ensure that its effects are contained, but for your own safety, I suggest you stay well away from here. No, it's my job. What? You're the adventurer who's volunteered to quell the Hecatoncheires? Yes. Yes, I am. I didn't think that Papa Sean would be able to find someone so quickly, if at all. The giants are content to wreak havoc inside the mines for now, but it's only a matter of time before they think to come outside. The sooner you see them, the better. Make ready as best you can, and enter at will. Alright. Ah! Yet another dungeon, I guess. Okay. Let's see. A bit of I. And yeah, as always, if anybody wants to join in, they can. Wait, when did I get 2 million coins? Because I only had 1 million at one point. I mean, I don't mind going in with a party of NPCs, but I also don't mind going in with other players. So, okay. You know, I think I'm just gonna try to go in with a party of other players and see what happens. I'm just curious to see what that's like to just join random people. Okay, abandoned once purged of ore, Copper Bell Mines lay untouched for nigh on 3 centuries until Amagina and Sons, a mineral concern, reclaimed the shafts. The guild's sights set on expanding the mines downward in an attempt to tap yet undiscovered veins of valuable metal, same thing. Unfortunately, it was not riches the power kegs uncovered, but sheer terror. For when the smoke cleared, outpoured an army of raging giants from the darkest recesses of the mines. The Hecatoncheires, thralls of the Lost Thorn dynasty, were at last free from their lightless prison. 300 years of hate fueling their madness. Okay. Am I the... Oh! Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, if I ever forget to do anything, let me know. Please. Okay. So, we have to go fight the guys. fight the guys. Do-do-do-ba-do-do-ba-do-do-ba-do. Okay. I guess we'll just hang out and wait for people to show. Alright. La da dum da dum da dum dum dum. La da 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 dum. Do 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 do. La da 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 dum da da dum. Okay, so farming party into a copper hell. Alright, I guess I could wander around a little bit. What is this person up to? Oh my gosh, so it's a little tiny lined up Aerith. That's very cute. Too bad I'm way behind you in levels. I'd be there if not for it. That's okay. You'll catch up. At some point, it'll be easy. They're so interesting looking. Look at that. So it's like it is part clam, but with like legs like an earthworm, and also part crystal or something. And they're so strange. And this Smitty. Baby my, what are you doing? We Storm Torches are in charge of security within Copper Bell Mines. Access is restricted until we can better assess what exactly has transpired here. Yeah, snail eyes. That makes sense. There's no greater thrill than surviving alongside like-minded companions to overcome the deadliest of challenges. May the wisdom you gained in the Hall of the Novice serve you well on your adventures. Nothing. And nothing. Do, 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 do. Oh, it's a little Mama Shiba. Oh, cute. So I suppose I can just do other stuff while forming a party, though I probably don't want to go far. Oh, hi Swimming, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. Let's see, is there a task I can do nearby? Okay, of the 38 parties, yeah. All of them match my search descriptions, sure. Oh, hi. Yay. Okay. So wait. There's 38 parties recruiting. All match my search conditions. Okay. The Party Finder. It has been added to the party section of the main menu. Through the Party Finder, you can either search for a party to join or recruit other adventurers to form a party of your own. To join a party, select Advanced Search and specify your search criteria. Upon finding a compatible party, simply select Join Party. Alright. Wait. So, advanced search. Duty. Dungeons. Copperbell Mines. Objective. Duty completion. Search area. Wait. Roles all. English. Right. Language. Loot roles. Any. Search. No results were found. Okay. That's why I'm not finding anything. Alright, let's try again. Objective. Duty completion. Right. Roles. Conditions. To recruit adventurers for your own party, select recruit members and specify your recruitment criteria. Interested individuals or answer will answer the call and you only sit back and wait. Okay, let's try that way. Recruit members, detail, dungeons, Copperbell Mines, objective, duty completion, comment, light party, roles. Completion status. English. Oh, okay. So I should just focus on the party finder. Ugh, okay. You know what I am going to do is I am going to wander a bit. Let's see if there's a task I can do while I'm waiting. Oh, well, there's at least one thing I can do. Which is this. Yay! Alright, let's find another task to do while we're waiting. Not the Chocobo Keep. Zuzu Tyro. A profitable proposition. Greetings, adventurer. If you have a moment to spare, I have a proposition that's guaranteed profitable and legitimate both. Tell me, do you know what a piesta is? It's a scalekin that looks like a snake, except it gets around on 4 legs. The creatures are wont to petrify their prey with their dreadful gaze before moving in for the kill. I want to get my hands on their eyes of the serpents they're called. And I need someone who knows how to handle deadly wildlife to do the procuring for me. If you could slay some of the beasts and bring me 4 of their eyes, I'll see to it you're well rewarded. Okay. Well, let's do that one. Okay. So, those are the lizard friends. our dragon friends. Ooh, one of these guys. No, I'm not trying to do it. Okay, maybe I should level sync and I can do both. Okay. La la la. Okay. And that's 2. Alright. And that's 3. They walk in an interesting way, for sure. Okay. There. Oh, no, wait, there's one. Okay, and then I can go after the dusty mongrels. They sure do look dusty. Okay. Oh, there's another one. All I have to do is stand in the middle and they just show up. Ah! Commence. Okay. There we go. Yay! Alright. Nice. Okay. Oh my gosh, this is... sealed. Oh, tiny key. And this begins. Ah! They ran away too quickly. Darn it. Oh my gosh, stop moving! Up. Why do they move so fast? So, just keep running, I guess. Okay. We're getting there. Nice. Wait. Okay. Ah. Wait. Okay, there we go. All right. Oh my gosh, that guy is huge. Oh, wait. Can't really get around him, can you? I figure I'm gonna get hurt anyway, which kind of sucks. Ah, nice. Okay. Thank you. Yay. There we go. Okay. Ah. Okay. Nice. All right. Okay. Great. Cool, cool. Powder chamber. Oh, what do we need? Stop pressing the wrong button. There we go. All right. Nice. I wish I were quicker on the, okay. Quicker on the uptake would be nice. Oh, what is that? Is that a slime? Got it. All right. Keeps getting smaller. Okay. All right. And there we go. Yes. Okay. 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 I think I'm in a good spot. Okay. There we go. Nice. Oh no. Not exactly you avoid them in sequence, so to speak, yeah. Slaves no more! Free! Free! Oh, the drama. Look at those ribs. Oh dear. Wait. Never again, never. Oh. I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. I don't know why I got stuck behind everybody. Great. Alright. So there's a timing to this guy. Wait, no, don't go after our healer, please. There we go. Nice. Nice. Yay. Da, 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 da. I like the guy's outfit. Okay, emotes. Yeah, wave. Okay. Let's see. Treasure coffer. Need. Okay. Pass. Great. Okay. Yes. There we go. Yay! Nice. Okay. Alright, well, I guess I can go back and return to the Eyes of the Serpent. So, let's go. That was awesome. Oh, I forgot to do player commendations. I need to remember that. That's 4 Eyes of the Serpent I want. Slay as many pasties as it takes to procure them. And those are yours. The eyes, my thanks, adventurer. What do I mean to do with these things, you ask? Why, sell them, of course. They may not look like much at first, but if you dip them in an alchemical concoction, they transform into beautiful red gemstones. And these gemstones happen to fetch a handsome price in Gardania. Pasties aren't found in the Black Shroud, you see. As a merchant, it's my job to know such things. I think I already have those. Okay. Report to the Painted Mesa. Alright, I think what I can do... Here, I can hire a Can I hire a chocobo yet? No, not that one. Chocobo key. Yes. Don't tell me this is your first visit to the shop. I shall update my register with your name so that you may access this location in the future. Hire one. Ilda. Yes. I want to see how this looks. So I'm guessing the chocobo is just going to take me. Oh my god, my brain would be rattling against my skull on one of these. I remember the first time I went horseback riding, I was like, why is it so clumpy? But I guess it depends on the gait, I guess, with a horse. There's, horses, different gaits that a horse uses to move. Oh my gosh, they're little cacti. Yeah. Anyway, different gaits are smoother when you ride a horse, apparently. I've only been horseback riding twice, so I don't know. I'm no expert. But it was definitely an interesting experience. Thank you, Chocobo. Okay. So, I need to go back to where? Painted Mesa. I am here. I go there. Yay. Okay. Ooh. Why did I get cold all of a sudden? It is 70 degrees in this room. It should not be cold. Midgar summer. Okay. And we're going here. I think, right? Yes. There we go. And I go to Momodi. Or, no, Painted Mesa. Okay. Proceed. Into a copper hell. Into a copper hell! Ah, the Conqueror of Copperbell returns. Thanks to you, our mining operations can resume, and Ulda will have the materials she needs to rebuild. The entire nation's in your debt, friend. I'll share the good tidings with Papashan the next time I see him. As for you, you'll want to report to Momodi. It'll do the woman well to see you alive and in one piece. Cool. Okay. Oh no. Shut your mouth, you thieving little swine. You stole from me. Don't even think to deny it. I'm sorry, but who am I going to believe here? But please, sir, I didn't steal nothing. She's guilty. I bought this. Paid for it with me own coin. Guilty. What rot. You refugees are all the same. Couldn't afford maggoty mole meat, much less a choice cut of dodo. I'm going to say it one more time. Give back what you stole, or I'll make you wish you never stepped foot in this town. By rights, I should turn you over to the brass blades, you know. Help keep the streets safe for law-abiding citizens, but I'm a reasonable man. If you agree to serve me in... Oh, he's slimy. Whatever capacity I require, he's the guilty one. The authorities needn't hear of your crime. Ew. That is maidenless behavior. But I ain't done nothing wrong. 12 is me witness. Please, adventurer, help me, I beg of ye. I swear on me mother's grave I didn't steal nothing. Bought this with the coin I'd saved. I only wanted to treat me children to a decent meal. What was that movement the guy made? And who the hells are you when you're at home? This dog's master? I've had enough of this mummer's farce. You lot, teach them a lesson. Nah. Nah. 'Tis I who shall be teaching you a lesson. I'll take care of this. The rest of you can watch. Yeah, you're not that great, dude. Yeah, you should have stopped at that 7th ale. Stop bloody goffing at me and give me a hand, will ya? lead from me. I'll take him down. Duty complete. They weren't that bad. Easy as pie. I ain't getting paid enough for this. Hey, where the hell do you think you're going? Thank you, kind adventurer. Thank you thrice over. Maybe not guilty. Wait. What? Story time. I'd swear there were more refugees than when I last looked. And you wouldn't be mistaken. But it's been 5 years since the calamity. Why are they only coming here now? It's simple, really. While a number of hamlets survived the immediate aftermath of the calamity, many were no longer able to support their communities. The residents found their lands had either been rendered barren or cut off from trade routes, and problems like those aren't easily solved. Though they tried to make the best of it, it was only a matter of time before they were forced to abandon their homes and seek a new life in the city. I see. But the calamity affected the whole realm, didn't it? Is the same thing happening in the other cities? If the talk is true, yes. Though perhaps our situation is more pronounced. Ul'dah has a reputation for being prosperous, so it's natural that the refugees would try their luck here first. My heart goes out to them, it truly does, but I would be lying if I said that I wasn't apprehensive. I hope their presence doesn't foment lawlessness in the city. Well, if things do take a turn for the worse, we always have the immortal flames. I dare say the brass blades would welcome their help. The heroes who fought the Garlean Empire patrolling the streets for riffraff? It may well come to that. Impoverished and desperate as they are, you may be sure that some of the refugees will turn to crime. You know what this place is like. If you've no coin, you've no hope. What will become of our city? Not all refugees are bad, mind you. Some are able to find employment and lead honest lives. Dodo tenderloins? Get your dodo tenderloins. Guaranteed cheapest in Thanalan. Thank you for your custom, madam. Please come again. Tiny boy. Looking around, you'd think that Ul'dah was well on its way to recovery. But peer through the veil of prosperity, and you'll see no end to the misery and suffering. Okay. Interesting. Madam? Are you all right? Yes. What now? You mean to threaten a defenseless citizen? What? Saw her buy the meat, you say? That's absurd. As I did. Oh. She did. Who said that? Grr. I will overlook this, but just this once. God bless ye, adventurer. If ye hadn't come along when ye did, who knows what that monster might have done. It don't bear thinking about. Interesting. So, essentially, it just wanted me to know that this is a place that has been hit hard by the calamity, I guess. Ever the selfless hero, I see. It's been a while, adventurer. I have been watching you closely ever since you flew out of Limsa Lominsa. You discharged your duty as the Admiral's personal envoy with admirable humility, and you have displayed unfaltering courage in the face of danger ever since. Whensoever you came upon those in need, you gave them succor with no thought of personal gain. In summary, you have demonstrated all the qualities we seek in an adventurer. For reasons I cannot well explain, your every deed seems invariably to serve the general good, whether you mean it to or not. It is a happy knack, and one which speaks volumes of your character. Well, I was kind of saying that woman was guilty at first. Oh, stop touching the mouse. An acquaintance of mine is blessed with the self-same talent, you see. If you so desire, I can introduce you to her. She and I fight for a common cause, a cause which would greatly benefit for your support. If you would agree to lend us your strength, we should be glad to do all within our power to aid you in your personal endeavors. Think on my offer for a while. Should you decide to accept it, pray speak with Momodi. The proprietress of the Quicksand is a close friend and ally of ours. Inform her that you have been chosen by the scions of the Seventh Dawn, and she will tell you where to find us. Ishtola doesn't need to know what you thought at first, Aspen. Of course not. Of course not. I just felt the storyline was too obvious. Okay. What does the little topaz one? Let's just target Earth Attunement. Okay. Alright. So, speak with Momodi. Alright. And let's go speak with Momodi, I guess. Now that we can. Okay. Seems like that are becoming ever more common, I'm afraid. Don't worry, though. If you work hard, you'll probably be all right. Saying that, if you ever find yourself in a spot of bother, come and see me. Just don't go pestering me every time you graze your knee, eh? Of course, I do enjoy hear and tell of a gentleman's woes with the womanfolk from time to time. Oh, Aspen, sorry to keep you waiting. I was just providing guidance to a fresh-off-the-carriage adventurer. But gods, it's good to see you safe and well. To look at you, no one would ever guess you'd been hard at it with giants in the dark. You're every ilm the adventurer Mune said you'd be, Aspen. The station master will be overjoyed when he hears the news. She is really adorable. Oh, before I forget, there's a lass here who wants a word with you. Didn't actually know your name, but hearing her description, I knew who she meant right away. Oh, that's that other girl. Thank you for sparing the time. I realize you don't know me, but I've been longing to speak with you for a while now. My name is Etta. I'm an adventurer like you, though I'm not very good at being one, if truth be told. Anyway, I was adventuring with my friends in Gridania I'm sorry, we were in Gridania when the leader of our party was killed. His name was Avere, and he and I were to be wed in the spring. You may not remember him, but to say that he remembered you would be an understatement. He would sing your praises from dawn to dusk. He saw you for what you are, you see, an adventurer's adventurer, and swore that he would be like you one day. I believe that he would have succeeded had a fiend not robbed him of the chance. Since that day, I have felt long and hard about giving up adventuring. But when I think of the woman you are, of all that you've achieved, I find that I am inspired, just as Avere once was. And so I decided to start again as an adventurer. I will go back to the village of my birth and begin my training anew. But I wanted to meet you first, to ask you your name. Aspen Dracaena, I shan't forget. Thank you, Aspen Dracaena. I pray that we will meet again. Fare you well. Adventuring can be a cruel, bleedin' business. Time was, I didn't know why anyone would bother. When they first asked me to take charge of the guild here, I didn't want aught to do with you lot. Thought it would be a right pain in the arse looking after you all. But against my better judgment, I decided to accept the post, and I'm full glad I did. I feel privileged to be part of your lives. And that goes double for yours, Aspen. Thank you. What did you say? You want to know about the scions of the Seventh Dawn? They're beginning to move in earnest then. Listen, Aspen. The scions ain't no ordinary folk, and the work they do ain't no ordinary work. I know full well how capable you are, but even you would think twice about attempting some of the stuff they do. Knowing that, if you're still certain you want to get involved, I'll tell you what I can. Done. Is there a reason people would decline? Alright, Momodee is ready to tell you what she knows about the scions of the Seventh Dawn. So you want to know more then, do you? Well, ain't that a surprise? I swear, if I painted certain death on one door and limitless wealth on another, 9 out of 10 adventurers would go through the first. And the other bloke wouldn't be able to choose on account of being old on. Anyway, don't say I didn't warn you. First of all, if you're wondering whether you can trust these scions of the Seventh Dawn, you can. They're good people who've made it their mission to solve some of Erzea's most pressing problems. Of course, that ain't no small task, so they're always looking for dependable individuals to join them. Individuals like you, Aspen. Now, I've been given leave to tell you where to find the scions, but you must promise to keep this information to yourself. As you can probably imagine, it's something Erzea's enemies would very much like to know. The scions are headquartered at Vesper Bay, out in western Thanalan. The place you're looking for is called the Wakened Sands. Give your name to whoever's at the entrance, and you'll be let in. You're a woman in demand, Aspen, and the days ahead promise to be busy, but I hope you won't forget about them as helped make you into the adventurer you are. Drop in and tell them how you're faring from time to time, you hear? Right, well, I've said my piece. Off you go. Okay. Go to the Waking Sands in Vesper Bay. And where am I in? Okay. Interesting. Alright. Wait. I want to head the other direction. Can I exit here? I suppose. Is it worth it to just go out this way? Maybe? Oh, hi, Parsimon. How you doing? Mapping the realm. Okay. And I'm level 33. Yay! Okay, so... Alright, why is it leading me this way? Wait. Oh, wait. Okay. Me and my distractibility. I swear, you would think sometimes... Okay, bye, Mag. Have a good night. Sometimes you would think I have ADHD, but I don't. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, and the ads are gonna start soon. Okay. Ad break. BRB. Okay. Perfect. Alright, so let's see. We are heading some way. Ah, there we go. Wait, blah, blah, blah. Should I follow the direction and... Hang on. Can I make it... Where am I on this? Okay. Should I go here? Roger. Okay, go to the walking sands in Vesper Bay. Ah, okay. No, wait. Alright. Have I touched the Ether Shard yet? Probably not. But I can do so now. Unless I already have. Blackbrush Station. Okay, definitely have not done that yet. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Can I... blah, blah, blah. That seems useless. Okay. Alright. I have no idea where I am, and that's okay. I really need to be going over this way. I think... Hammerbeak. Okay. I feel like I should at least get myself on a road of some sort. It's gonna say no admittance, isn't it? No entry. Can't talk to them? Okay. There's something somewhere over here. The Nanawa Mines, okay. I think if I... maybe? I don't know. Are you in the same zone as the quest? I don't even know. I don't even know. I don't think I am. I could probably head back. If I need to. Let me take a look. Like, it's to the north and to the west. Right? But I'm going more north than west. I don't know. Maybe I should go back. Maybe I should not trust myself on this right now. Alright, let's do this. Let's follow the train tracks back. And see if that helps sort things out. Maybe. Vesper Bay, out in Western Fanland. Okay. So, Western Fanland. No. Teleport? I'll just teleport to Western Fanland. There we go. There! That makes it easy. We'll just teleport. I guess. Okay. Alright, so... let's try going... out that way? There we go, I think. There we go. But, you know, I got to walk around a bit, I guess. I guess it's a good thing. Supposedly. Okay. La 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 la. Alright, I have an idea of where it is. I don't need this. Alright. That's cool looking. Always good to go on a walk. Yeah, you are completely right. Sometimes you just need a little exercise. And some fresh air to clear your head. Right? No. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. I'm definitely ahead on level, so, like, it's not a huge thing if I don't join in Fates. Or at least it seems like that. Ew, pretty. Awaking Sands in Vesper Bay. Okay, this is actually really... look at how pretty the sky is. And that's really pretty. Okay, let's see. Yeah, this is a nice little area. I like it. And there we go. Tataru. Deep in the desert of my heart, a lonely flower blooms, yearning for the heavens above to quench my thirst for you. Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Ah! Cough. I would thank you not to sneak up on me like that. Now please be advised that this is private property. Unless you have pertinent business here, I must ask you to... Here at the behest of Ishtola? My sincerest apologies. May I please have your name? Aspen Dracaena, Aspen Dracaena. Ah, here you are. Ahem. I bid you welcome to the Waking Sands, or the Waking Sands, headquarters of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. My name is Tataru, and I look forward to assisting you during your time with us. The antecedent is within the solar. I shall let her know how to expect you. All right. Speak with the scion of the seventh dawn. Okay. So that means I go over there, which is not very far from where I am now. Phenom du monde, that's not me. Okay. Do I go downstairs? Enter the waking sands. Okay. We have entered the waking sands. Here we go. I take it you're Aspen Dracaena. Tataru sent word that you had arrived. Lady Minphilia has eagerly awaited your coming. This way, if you please. Nope. Nope. Hard leather ring bands? I mean, I don't really need them. I think since that doesn't help me, I will get the bronze piece. Okay.
So you're the adventurer of whom I've heard so much.
Yes.
Well met, friend. My name is Minphilia, and I lead the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. I have awaited your coming. Please, be at ease. You are among friends here.
The walking sounds
No
crack me up.
doubt you are ripe to burst with questions. But have patience. All will be revealed in time. First, let me begin by telling you who we are and what we do. We are the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, an order that transcends political boundaries. Our single objective is the preservation of the future of Eorzea. Among our gravest concerns are the godlike beings known as the Primals. Their existence is a bane upon Eorzea, nay, the world at large, and we have Our order is home to a number of individuals who, like you, possess a rare and special talent. This talent takes various forms, but one holds particular interest for us. Tell me, have you ever experienced a sudden, inexplicable loss of consciousness?
Yes.
Have you ever had the sensation of being pulled away from reality? Felt as though you were hovering in space? A mind without a body?
I feel like she's going to recommend like one of those prescription drugs that they have commercials for. Yes.
All these things are the manifestations of your talent. Yours is the power to transcend the boundaries of the soul. A power known as the Echo.
Echo, echo, echo.
The Echo allows you to pass through the walls of a man's soul and hear the resonations of his past.
Past.
You will be there in his memories and see things as he saw them. You may even interact with that which you see, though you cannot change the outcome of events. For another blessing, the Echo will enable you to know a man's mind even if you cannot comprehend his words. In short, the Echo is a truly extraordinary power, and this power is strong within you. It is only a shame that we cannot use it whensoever we choose. That's right. I too possess the Echo.
She's like, see? We're besties now.
With that established, let us return to the subject of the primals. So long as they exist, the realm cannot take so much as a single step towards true peace. Measures must be taken. Measures which transcend boundaries, be they of faction, race, language, or creed. And to do so, the Scions require the aid of those with our talent. Make no mistake, the Echo will be instrumental in dealing with the primal threat. Without it, we cannot hope to save the realm. I know not what it is you desire for yourself, nor what it was that first brought you to Eorzea. But I firmly believe that the power we possess was given to us for a purpose.
I am so confused by her outfit.
Why else would the gods entrust man with a gift so extraordinary, if not to have him use it? And so I implore you, lend us your power.
Naturally, your aid will not go unrewarded. We are fortunate to have a number of influential allies, and at a word from me, they will gladly afford you certain privileges that might otherwise be denied you. The right to employ retainers, for example. Are you familiar with them? They are individuals who may be relied upon to manage your assets and belongings on your behalf. The papers you requested, my lady. Every time they walk, it sounds like they're walking with, like, wet shoes. Thank you, Tataru. The pleasure is mine, my lady. By way of a welcoming gift, I have taken the liberty of adding your name to the Retainers Registry. As of now, you are entitled to employ the services of a retainer. You'll need to consult a retainer vocate regarding the particulars of this arrangement, but believe me when I say the retainers will prove invaluable to you in your adventuring endeavors. Let this gesture serve as evidence of our commitment to do all in our power to facilitate your personal objectives. In return, we ask that you aid us to the fullest extent of your talents. A mutually beneficial relationship, I am sure you will agree, and one which serves the greater good besides. Well, that was a veritable lecture, was it not? Forgive me, but it is important that all concerned are aware of what is expected of them. Now you know our purpose and what we can offer you. I invite you to consider joining us. When you have come to a decision, you may tell me without fear of censure. In good faith, I shall entrust you with our order's password, which our members use to reach one another when afield. It is Wild Rose. Pray keep it safe. Wild Rose is a very common phrase. Retainer. Okay, I get to have a retainer. Retainers are helpful NPCs who can be hired by players to carry out such tasks as storing excess gil and gear, or selling unwanted items at the markets. They may also be sent afield on ventures. The contract of service can be drafted by Fridwib in Limsa Luminsa, Parnell in Gridania, Chachabi in Ulda, Prunilla in Ishgard, or Kazashi in Kugane. Okay. Alright, let's go, I guess. I'm probably only going to play for about half an hour longer. We Scions have but one objective, to safeguard the future of Eorzea. Eorzea, I guess is how she says it. Among our gravest concerns are the godlike beings known as the Primals. Long have we striven to find a lasting solution to the threat they pose. I know not what it is you desire for yourself, nor what it was that first brought you to Eorzea, but I firmly believe that the power we possess was given to us for a purpose. Pray consider this when you give me your answer, Aspen. What will you say? I will go whither the wild rose blooms. Yours is no small endeavor. The dangers are great. Nothing. Chat. Shall I go whither the wild rose blooms? Perhaps I should. Or perhaps I should, see if I can sweeten the deal. I kind of want to see what happens if I say yours is no small endeavor. I'm gonna try it. Small? No. Unworthy, undeniably. We labor for the good of all the realm. Okay. Then I shall do it. I will go whither. Minfilia is waiting to hear whether or not you will pledge your support to the science of the Seventh Dawn. Yep.
I take it you will help us.
Yes.
Wonderful. I knew you wouldn't let us down. But come, I would introduce you to your friends in the Order.
Okay.
Tell me, does the name Charlian ring any bells?
I saw that. Yes, it does.
It used to be one of Eorzea's 6 city-states, and was situated in the northwest of Aldenard. The Charlians were the keepers of wisdom both old and new. Their mastery over magic and ether was unsurpassed, and even the Garleans knew to fear them. Among their number, there were a noble few who devoted their lives to safeguarding the future of Eorzea. When the realm began its descent into chaos, and their countrymen fled for the motherland, they alone chose to remain here. These noble men and women were called the Archons. Those same brave souls stand before you now. The masked woman is Ida, and beside her is Popalimo. The two are charged with surveying the Twelveswood.
Okay.
Hello there.
Welcome.
Popalimo. I like this name.
Okay, my turn to introduce someone. That there is Thancred.
He is our man here in Ul'dah, Jewel of the Desert.
Welcome to the team.
Okay.
If I may, the lovely maiden beside me is named Y'shtola. Limsa Lominsa has the pleasure of being under her care.
I believe we have met.
Greetings.
Greetings again.
I have been expecting you.
Of course you have. You told me to come here.
Last but not least is Urianger, who presides over all affairs within these halls. Pray seek him out whenever you have questions.
Why does it look like he has a really thin giraffe neck?
Dawn may banish even the darkest night. The words of a dear friend. I am glad of our meeting.
At the Battle of Carteneau, our leader was taken from us. But we did not stray from our purpose. We sought out Minfilia and others with her talent, and together established the Scions of the Seventh Dawn.
Along with the Archons, those blessed with the Echo play a pivotal role in our endeavor to forge a brighter tomorrow for the realm. Oh, I should also introduce you to Tataru, our clerk. She ensures that everything runs smoothly.
Okay. Tataru, our clerk.
Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Oh god, that's just cute. That voice is just cute.
In time, I hope you will come to think of us as family. But without further ado, I would assign you
To your first task.
Urianger,
Yep.
have the documents arrived from the students of Baldessian?
Baldessian.
Aye, my lady. They arrived but recently.
We have received a request for aid from the Immortal Flames.
Okay.
Thancred, would you do the honors?
Yes.
It would be my pleasure. Some days ago, a crystal caravan registered to Amagina and Sons Mineral Concern was waylaid and divested of its cargo.
That's not good.
But there is more. Within a bell of the robbery, several people were reported missing from the shantytown outside the city.
That's also not good.
At a glance, one would assume the involvement of bandits, kidnappers, and coincidence. Such crimes are hardly uncommon, and the Immortal Flames deal with their like almost every day. However, this time we have reason to believe that a primal is involved.
Okay.
Aye. The evidence left behind implicates the Emolja, who are known worshippers of Ifrit. If we then consider the objects that were taken, there is no room left for doubt. The crimes were committed in the name of a primal.
That you may better understand the nature of our struggle with the primals, I would have you play the leading role in this investigation. You have my thanks. If there is aught you wish to know, I recommend you speak with Thancred. He is well versed in the affairs of Ulda.
Ever at your service, fair lady.
Okay. Speak with Thancred. Alright, all my tasks seem to be talking with people. Ready to begin, are we? That's the spirit. So then your mission is to investigate a crystal robbery and a spate of abductions. Crimes which we believe to be connected. Assuming we are correct, it is like that any discoveries we make in relation to one will further our understanding of the other. Now, since the attack of their caravan, our friends at Amagina and Sons Mineral Concern have doubled security over all their shipments. In light of this, it is my judgment that the abductions should be our priority. According to our preliminary findings, the majority of the missing were last seen in the vicinity of Camp Drybone. So, that would seem a fine place to begin. A fellow by the name of Isambard serves as the camp's de facto leader. Pay him a visit and see that he gives us his full cooperation. Okay, speak with Thancred. Okay, I don't think I've been there. Where am I on this map? Okay, I have seen Blackbrush Station, Horizon, and somewhere over this way. Okay. Speak with Isambard at Camp Drybone. I'm gonna be traveling. Okay. Nice, I suppose. Yes, leave the solar. My wild Irish rose. Okay. La 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 la. Exit to Vespa Bay. Yes. Yes. Okay. La da dum 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 da da dum da da dum da da dum. There's little Totoro. Totoro. At that cute little voice. Okay. You know, look. Huh. Interesting. Okay. I don't know. Alright, let's go wherever we're supposed to go, I guess. I don't know. Can we take a chocobo? That's not a chocobo. Wait, there's a chocobo. Chocobo keep. Higher chocobo parter. Ulda Horizon. Where am I? Ulda or Horizon? Wait, let me look at this for a sec. So, we were in Ulda. Or Horizon. Let's not take a chocobo, I guess. Because that's not actually helpful. Yeah, I'm just gonna go. Well, no, let's go to Horizon. Yeah, let's do that. They certainly gave chocobos a very cute name. I think chocobo sounds like a chocolate brand. Zoom. Up, 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 up. All right, that helped part of the way, at least. Let's see. I guess I'm stuck in a fate. Level sync. Oh, okay. I need to attack. Okay, I need to attack the dusty mongrels. Okay. Okay, something just... Oh. La la la. Okay, let's see. Yep. Pressing the wrong button. There we go. Too easy. These PS days are pretty, aggressive. Okay. More dusty mongrels. Ooh, I found the spawn point. They sound so pitiful. I feel kind of bad. There we go. It's gonna attack me, so I should attack it first. Okay. Packs of diseased dogs roam the desert, attacking anyone carrying anything resembling food, or anyone resembling food for that matter. Put the beast down before poor Lalafell becomes lunch. Okay. Spawn for me? Spawn? Oh, there we go. There we go. Lunchafell. Nice. Okay. Alright. Now it's time to go, my friend. We'll go this way. Where's the road? It seems to be a road of sorts. Oh no, I need to go the other way. No, I need to go that way. Wait a moment. There we go. This way. Yeah, we can go through this way, sure. Or maybe not. I think that's the bridge I need to get onto. Okay, so we have to go around. You know, sometimes when you see bridges, you know, you're supposed to, I don't know, walk across them. Sometimes that's helpful. Okay, so... That's Hammerly. And I need to get up there. Up there somewhere. And how doth one get up there, perchance? Up this way? I don't know. I think I just went too far. Or maybe not. Maybe there's a way from up here. Maybe there's a way from up here. I do not know. I could be completely and utterly wrong. Do I go this way? And there's all these little marmots. Can I just please get across that bridge? It would be helpful. Can I just climb up here? Let's go. Kerboing, kerboing. No, it won't let. Oh, no, wait there. I can't get any further. No. Well, I can go through Ulda. Right? No way up there. Okay. All right. I think. Let's go that way. Wait, did I? Central Finland. Okay, I could have just done that. Yeah, because, you know, taking a walk is nice. Okay, so what I need to do is go out. Somewhere that way. I think. Okay. Looks like we're on the right direction, somewhat, of direction-y things. Okay. But, okay. Is there a road around? Is that why we're going this way? Sure, let's do that. Because there's too many cliffs, and I don't think I can get over all of them. Okay. I probably could have cut through, but that's okay. Tiny Chris just ran by us, guys. He's very tiny. Okay. We're heading in a direction. This should be the right one. Yep, there we go. All right, Eastern Thanland. Okay. Eastern Thanland. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I went a direction, and it worked. And that's useful. Can I direction in another direction that is a good direction to go to? I don't know. All right. This looks correct. Camp Drybone. Okay. Let's go down. Alright, wait, where's the... Gotta do this first. Touch the stone. Alright. You know what? I think this is a good stopping point. So, because I don't want to stop, wait for the ad and then stop. So let's stop here. That way, when I come back, I am right there and ready to do the exact mission I'm supposed to. Pardon me. Okay. Oh, where are my wings? There are my wings. Okay, guys. So, yes, perfect. Ideal, in fact. So, I am going to sign out for tonight. Let's see if there's someone we can raid. Oh, thank you, Parsimon. Let's see. What's good? Who would be good to raid tonight? We can go raid Giva. Oh, Panda wanted me to watch him play Toe Jam and Earl. And he is doing that right now. So let's go say hi to Panda. Since he's part of V-Fable, I do have to, you know, I have to send people over to my other V-Fable friends. So let's go raid Panda. Okay. I love that Panda will play a lot of kind of like older games. I think it's really fun. All right. So have a lovely evening, everybody. Say hi to Panda. Tell him I sent you guys. And yeah, have a good night. I'll see you on Sunday when I try to finish Resident Evil Village again. Hopefully I'll get through it again. Have a good night. You're welcome for the stream, Parsimon. Thank you. Alright, so let's go to the end screen. And have a lovely night, everybody. Bye.